Hey everybody, welcome to the Luxury Sigh Interior Design Podcast. I am your host, Luxury Sigh. I am an interior designer and I am your warm voice and just your reassuring friend who's probably going to let you buy what you want to buy as long as the patterns don't clash, right? So this podcast is where I share simple solutions about simplifying every aspect of a homemaker's busy life, where each episode is long enough to really learn something and short enough to listen on the go. So today I have a really fun topic. So the fall season is upon us. I was with my son driving recently and I was just marveling at the trees. I'm looking outside literally right now, my yard. The burnt oranges, the ombre shades of green mixed with almost like pops of lemon color, like these yellows and oranges and burgundies and browns. And I said to him, we really need to go apple picking at some point. Now, y'all know my sons are in their late 20s and early 30s. I have two boys, so I don't know what boys really want to go apple picking with their mama. But luckily, I have boys that that actually like that. So anyway, when I thought about that, how much I want to either go apple picking or pumpkin picking or something like this, I said this would be a great episode to do for the show, because I really was thinking, well, once I get the apples, what am I going to do with it? And he, made this little slick joke. Well, we know you're not making apple pie. I've never made a homemade apple pie where I've actually taken the apples, rolled out the dough and place the apples and then cut the strip. I've never done that. I have made apple pies, plenty of apple pies, but I've used store-bought dough. Maybe that doesn't make me a good homemaker. I don't know. I've cut up the apples, and then there's also been times where I will put a Mrs. Smith's pie in the oven with the little crumble, it's nobody's business. So I have done that too. But anyway, I wanted to hop on. So I made some notes about 4 different types of apples that you can make perfect snacks and desserts with if you decide to go apple picking this fall season, right? So if you're watching this, I'm not doing it live, but I did do a video. So you're probably if you're watching this, you're watching it after I did the show on YouTube. And if you're listening to it, of course, the show can be found. Let me pull it up on iTunes, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify. And then, of course, you can go to luxuryside.com and see the podcast there. This is episode 503. Yay. Oh, wait, here's my bell. Let me bring my bell. Look. I have been podcasting since June 26th of 2008. So there are 500. No, this is episode 505. I'm wrong. Let me spin the camera around. This is episode 505. Look, that's episode 504. Are you buying a haunted home? So the last episode I did was, are you buying a haunted home? And see, now I'm messing with the camera, trying to get this right. I should have never moved it. There it is. It's still. As a realtor licensed in New York, New Jersey, and North Carolina, I'm not a practicing agent anymore. But when I was an active agent, that never came across my radar if I was selling or having my clients buy a haunted home. But in the last episode 504, I shared what the laws are in what particular states that relate to disclosures if you're actually buying a home that has paranormal activity. So I thought it was a fun show, seeing how we're coming up on Halloween. Are you buying a haunted home? And then here's the thing too. If you go to Netflix, Marlon Wayans has a new movie out on homes that have paranormal activity. I think what they do, that movie is new and it's a little nod to his scary movie films. But there's, around Halloween, they start recycling The Shining and all these other scary, oogly things. There's one that's called The Watcher that I actually want to watch. It's about a home that's in New Jersey, my home state. So yeah, there's just a lot of movies about scary stuff. But anyway, I digress. We're going to get into things to know about apple picking. With more than 100 types of apples grown in the United States, the selection at stores can feel overwhelming. Here's how you can buy the best or pick the best apples for every everything that you need. We're going to get into this right on the other side of this commercial break. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back on the other side of this commercial. And we're back. Thank you so much for listening. So let's get into things cooks need to know, and homemakers too, about apple picking. So color isn't always a good indication of ripeness or flavor. Texture is. I do not like squishy soft apples. Ugh. And I don't like Macintosh apples. I think they have a fuzzy taste to them, but that's just me. No matter what the apples are destined for, brown bag lunches or holiday parties, look for fruit that feels firm with no squishy spots. See, I knew I wasn't bugging when I said I don't like squishy apples. I do like applesauce though. How many of y'all, put this in the blog, how many of y'all grew up on applesauce with school lunches, right? They always gave us like a little thing of applesauce. Anyway, Pink Lady apples are the top grocery store. Pink Lady apples are the top grocery store choice for people that love apples because they retain their shape during long stints in the oven. So if you're making apple pie, Pink Lady apples, and I'm going to actually put pictures of these on the blog on luxurysci.com. They hold well in pies and crisps, and the skin keeps its pink color when baked whole. If y'all listen to the podcast, you did not see my face. If I'm at a farmer's market, I look for different types of apples, but that's a good one. The slices get tender without dissolving, which is actually an issue when you bake apples, and the flavor is rich and it's a little spicy. The ones that I like the best for baking are Granny Smith apples. Those are absolutely my favorite, and I just even love to eat Granny Smith apples. I have the corer, and I'll just slice it and I'll dip it in peanut butter. I don't know how healthy that is, but it tastes really yummy as a snack. The best for snacking, for crisp, juicy, sweet tart apple, for lunch bags, the best ones are Honey Crisp. And you can also kind of do a gala onion, a Fuji apple, jazz, and a cosmic crisp apple. I don't like Macintosh, love Granny Smith. The best for salads and cheese boards. So here's the deal. I just sent my sister for her birthday a big platter from Edible Arrangements, and it had apples dipped in chocolate with like a white chocolate drizzle, pineapples that were cut into little flowers. It had bananas, and then it had grapes in the center. So the apples that they used were Granny Smith. The Granny Smiths are just kind of such a universal apple, but who doesn't love a good charcuterie board? I mean, really, cheese, apples, pecans, raisins, sliced meat, crackers that there probably have been times I've had made my own charcuterie board for dinner. But anyway, the best apples for a cheese board or a charcuterie board are Sweet Tango, Lady Alice, Honey Crisp, and Ginger Gold apples. Ginger Gold apples are really, really good. I'm going to put a picture and the traits of a Ginger Gold apple on the blog luxurysci.com, so you'll see that'll be a post for today. And then how to store apples. When stored in cold dark spot, apples can last for weeks. I had a banana that I put in the fridge and it lasted longer than I thought it should have. It was still yellow. It was still firm. I was like, I don't remember bananas lasting this long, but it is what it is. But if you have a dark cellar, that's the best option. Otherwise, keep them in the fridge's crisper drawer in a paper bag to protect them from light, because one bad apple truly does spoil the bunch. Ha 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 ha. I made a joke. Y'all know I'm silly, right? Anyway, Cosmic Crisp and Cinnamon Crisp are excellent keepers, and if they're stored properly, they can last up to a year. I'm not eating apples a year after they have been in my house, unless it's in applesauce or in like a compote. And at that point, I've made a compote. My mother-in-law, God rest her soul, she's in heaven now. She taught me how to can. And once I did that, I kind of fell in love with it. So if you can, you're going to take fruit, put it away. You can use it for later on in the year if you're making special desserts. But this is the time of year where people are really making pies and desserts and sauces. So in my head, and my intention is to try to get down 10 more pounds this holiday season, before the holiday season comes in. So I have a little flexibility to gain a couple pounds with all of the desserts. But anyway, so that is some fun things to know. Cooks should know about apple picking and what apples can be used for what, and then how to store them. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching. Always remember that we shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that we can do, or any kindness that we can show to any human being, let us do it now. Let us not defer or neglect it, for we shall not pass this way again. And that is the same way I have ended every episode of my podcast since June of 2008. Thanks so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you guys soon.